What's up guys? Welcome back to West Coast Elements. My name is Benton and today we're doing a Q&A video. On YouTube and Instagram I asked you guys to send me in some questions about my transition, some trails and life. So I thought that would pretty much encompass everything that this channel is. Without further ado, I'm super excited to get caught up with you guys and let's get into the questions. Let's start with life. The first question comes from Everett D. Have you gone to college / do you have a job? Interesting how those two go together. Yeah, I've done right now 3 years of post-secondary, some film studies and some outdoor recreation management kind of studies. And I do have a job right now in the recreation field. It's really just a typical like 9 to 5 sort of thing, but I really want to start breaking out of that cycle and start making some more videos. Drop a comment down below if you guys have a job and how you use your free time, how you motivate yourself within that free time to do more creative things. The next question comes from B-Lap or Baylap. What made you quit YouTube so suddenly? Thank you for asking this question. I really want to address this in a little bit of a longer video, but basically to summarize it, it really has to do with the first question, is finding balance between creating things and working all the time, and then having other hobbies and social life, and just finding a balance, which everybody I think struggles with a little bit. But behind all of that, there's also a lot of insecurities that I started to develop about being so vulnerable and putting myself out there. And I'm really trying to make a conscious effort now to get over those things and connect like this more, because that's always what I've enjoyed doing and found a lot of joy in doing. The next question comes from Brandon T. And he says, what would you say to yourself from 5 years ago? So if I were to talk to myself 5 years ago right now, I need to first of all think of where I was 5 years ago. 5 years ago was 2014, and that would have been when I graduated high school. I think I was just about starting to notice some transition changes. I just started hormones, and I think I was, having a lot of fun. I was doing a lot of social things. I think I would tell myself to maybe just calm down a little bit and focus on my relationships with my friends and my health. I think I would tell myself to go for a hike. I think that's exactly what I would say. I only did like one hike back then, and it was this 45-minute walk. I remember very specifically. It was a 45-minute walk to this lake, and that was my first hike, and that's all I did in 2014. And then I don't think I hiked again for like another year or something, but it took me a while after then to get into it. All right, the last life question is from Ben Christensen, and he asks, any good music recommendation? Right now, I am obsessed with Matt Mason. If you know who he is, let me know in the comments what your favorite song is, mostly because I'm having a hard time choosing one for myself. I'm gonna link his Spotify in the description. If you guys don't know who he is already, highly recommend. All right, we're gonna move on to the next topic, and that is trails. First question's from Ali Turner, and Ali asks, do you have any tips for hiking, what to bring, safety, etc.? I like to think that I'm a huge advocate for bringing all the 10 essentials and being super safe, smart decision making, checking conditions, all that sort of stuff. But I am not perfect. I do make mistakes out there, and I have paid for those mistakes. We've got a few videos on our channel that outline the 10 essentials, what to bring, and a few hiking tips. We hope to make a few more of these videos, so if you guys have any more questions about the specifics of these items and what we actually bring, let us know in the comments, and we're super excited to talk about that stuff. Dory, come here. We have a special guest. Oh, you're so dirty. Hello. VS Buzzle says, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? No, you can't. Suggestions for someone wanting to begin hiking on a budget. Yeah, when I first started hiking, I didn't have any of my own gear, really. I asked friends for extra shoes. I bought a cheap Walmart backpack. You go from there, and that's the only way to do it, to see and figure out what you're missing, and then you can improve from there. And even improving your gear and upgrading your gear doesn't have to be expensive. There's a lot of ways to get secondhand stuff and a lot of ways to make what you have already work. And it's mostly about your system and dialing down a system. And the only way to dial down your system and figure out what you actually need is to go out there and to try it. Cool. thank you for your question. Next up is Sylvester D. And Sylvester asks, what is your favorite memory from hiking? Also, the sun is just going down, so there's gonna be a few lighting changes here. My favorite memory from hiking, geez. Speaking of the sun going down, I think like any sunset hike has been super memorable for me. It's just always good times. Like, you go up in the light and you come down in the dark, and it's always an adventure. And of course, seeing the sunset from a mountain or just a unique place in a new setting is just very humbling. Like, sunsets are awesome. Like, I used to be obsessed with sunset hikes, and I would try and get up after work like 3 times a week. I don't know, it just changed my whole perspective of when you can hike, the timing of hiking, and how to avoid crowds too is really special in the evening when it's very quiet and very nice. Very nice. It's very nice. Next question comes from my friend Harrison, and Harrison asks, have you ever been sprayed with bear spray? I'm still recovering from 2 weekends ago when I accidentally sprayed myself with bear spray. Yeah, it was not fun, Dory. Okay, I think it's time we move on to transition. Dory, I gotta let you go. I gotta make sure the camera's still recording. Go. Thank you. Okay, last but not least, final topic here is the transition, and I think you guys are probably more excited to talk about it than I am. I'm going to be a little bit hesitant getting back into this topic, but I am looking forward to sharing some, future pieces of my transition that are coming up, and I think it's going to be exciting, so stay tuned. I'm just going to transition from the trail topic here. Cade asks, how do you handle hiking while binding? So I stopped binding, I want to say 2 years ago, give or take, but I did exercise. I did play hockey when I was binding, and the reason for that was, obviously being uncomfortable with the way my chest looked and wanting it to be flat, but I suffered so much more than the satisfaction I got from having it flat, like playing hockey, for example, you wear a chest protector, so it's not like it would have shown anyways, and I don't really know why I put myself through that now that I think about it. But as for hiking, I think it's just a matter of having a binder that is loose enough that allows you to breathe properly. It's a really similar feeling when you've got your backpack straps on and your sternum strap around your chest, and it constrains your lungs and you can't take a full breath. I used to hike with my sternum strap done up to keep my shoulder straps nice and secure, but it's just not effective and efficient for your energy and your breathing. So I'd rather have my shoulder straps over here and be able to take a deep and full breath when I'm walking. If you absolutely do need to bind, I would get one that is a little bit looser. If you are okay with not binding for your hiking, you're not going to see that many people. Hopefully you're with people that care about you enough to allow you to feel comfortable without it. Another good option, I guess, would be to wear a black athletic shirt, something that you feel falls right on your body. The fit is nice. I really like wearing athletic clothing and like synthetic materials just because of the way it sits on my body and it doesn't show anything on my chest. So try some shirts on that are a synthetic polyester material. And then I would also recommend putting your backpack on top of that, trying your backpack on with that just to see how the shoulder straps go and where the sternum strap sits in relation to your chest. All right. Anita asks, does dysphoria still affect you? Good question. I think back to a few years ago when it was quite bad and, like paralyzing at times, and I just didn't want to move or look at myself or touch anything, or I remember like even doing something with my hands and having to acknowledge the size of my hands, or not being able to pick something up and feeling as strong as other guys would almost like freeze me in my tracks. Short answer is yes, it does still affect me, but in comparison to the intensity it was, I've worked through a lot of that, and that has to do with working mentally around those barriers, but also physically being healthy and exercising to be able to do the things I want to do. And yeah, because of exercise and because of these things, often, more times than not, I'll look at myself and actually feel proud of my body. So it's a huge contrast between now and then. So good question, Anita. Thank you. Fortunately, Fortunately, I'm just going to say coleslaw. Fortunately, coleslaw. What advice would you give to somebody who is on the waiting list? So I assume you mean a waiting list for a surgery, and I am still on a waiting list for surgery. I was on the waiting list for my hysterectomy for about 8 months, I think. maybe a little bit longer, but I actually purposely pushed it. And that was because my job and my work is seasonal, so I still wanted to have a proper skiing season, and I wanted to be able to work full-time for as long as I can and then take a proper break from work and recover. So the waiting list for a lot of people is just a horrible length of a nightmare, but if you can, use it to your advantage. See if you can work some things around your life, and just keep in mind that everything in life has its own process, its own timeline. It will happen when it's meant to happen. And if you are on the waiting list, I believe in you. You can wait, you can do this. Another question from Ali T. Ali asks, have you had top surgery? And if so, what was your experience? And if not, why? So I've had my hysterectomy surgery. I have not had any other surgeries. So right now I'm on the wait list for top surgery, and it should be about another 6 months or so, but it's the same kind of situation where I'm trying to time it around the season so that I can still get a super fun ski season this winter, and then hopefully do it next, like late spring-ish time maybe? I don't know. They still need to call me and figure it out, but I am just excited. When it happens, it'll happen, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be, I'm sure, a tough recovery like my hysterectomy was, but I'm so excited for so many ways that it's gonna change my life and improve the way I feel. I'm gonna hopefully be sharing some more updates about that as I go to my consult and get my appointments booked. So stay tuned, and let me know if you have any top surgery specific questions. Let me know in the comments, and I'll be sure to include those in my actual top surgery videos. Keeping on the topic of surgery, the next question is from Sharura08, and they ask, bottom surgery on the roadmap? Question mark. Right now, bottom surgery only comes to mind. It's only a factor in my life when somebody asks me, are you gonna have the surgery? As of right now, I'm not thinking about it too much. It's not something I feel huge dysphoria around. As of right now, I'm happy and I'm content with what's down there. So yeah, that's all. I'm just keeping an open mind, and we'll see what happens. And it's actually getting pretty dark out now. I don't know if you guys can tell. The camera just shut off, so I don't know where we were. On that note, that is all the questions I've got for today. Thank you to everybody who asked a question. Feel free to leave any more in the comments. I'm sure I missed a ton of stuff that you guys want to get caught up on. Otherwise, if you guys are not subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button with the notifications on. The whole subscription box thing, you guys know how messed up it is, so that little button, that bell, really makes things a lot easier for everybody. Hit the like button if you haven't already. It really helps out our channel. And stay tuned, we got some really great content coming for you guys. I'm super excited. With that said, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you guys later. Bye.